feel like a king, oh yeah. Baby, can't help but stare. Such a rush, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Viva ENT. This is Johnny the Capo. I'm live in the studio in wonderful, beautiful, what a beautiful day today it is here.
Boy, there cannot be enough sunshine today. This is incredible.
Here in Seattle, and you just heard my co-host say something, Mr. Brad. Go ahead, Bradley.
Brad Buckles, good afternoon.
Yes, the guru of weddings in Seattle. There's no question about it. And then my wonderful and excellent producer, Mr.
Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen. It's Eric C.C. Ryder.
Hey, Eric C.C. Ryder. How you doing, pal?
Doing great. It's a beautiful day, as Brad said.
I tell you what, this day today is like, it's almost like spring or something, or what?
Feels like it, yeah.
I mean,
it's 60 degrees.
Oh, my gosh.
February. Can't complain.
I literally put the top down. I drove right into the studio and went, this is about as good as it gets.
On the car?
Yeah.
Okay. Just like to clarify that.
Yeah, if I put the top down, it wouldn't be something I'd be talking about.
Right.
Okay.
Having said that, today is just, it's remarkable. And the view from up here in the studio is incredible.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is, when it's 60 in Seattle, it is like, I don't know, what am I going to say, 70 somewhere else? I mean, because 60 here is like
Perfect.
primo.
Yeah,
you know,
it's very comfortable.
60 somewhere else is not so primo.
Yeah, I guess it depends on where you're at.
Exactly.
You got the fresh air. You can see the mountains. The fog is just kind of glazy enough that you can see through it.
Right. Like, for instance, 60 in Vegas, it ain't too comfortable. You know what I mean? Here,
That's because they're used to being 95 degrees, so they get down to 60, and oh my gosh, I'm freezing.
I got news for you. 110 in Vegas ain't that hot either.
That was my Vegas punter impression.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
cool.
So today we got a lot of stuff to talk about.
We've got a great big show.
We do have a big show today, and we have a legendary a broadcaster, DJ, based out of the New York area, Ed Solomon.
Writes books about rock and roll history.
Was associated with the legendary Dick Clark,
Oh, yeah.
and was pretty much responsible for bringing country music to the popular scene in New York City,
Okay.
which...
We've
Yeah.
turned a corner now because we're going from rock to like country rock.
Yeah, well, you know, country, basically, if it wasn't for country, there wouldn't be any rock, if you think about it.
Actually, I know that. And what's interesting is you kind of went through about 3 different evolutions of country.
Correct.
You went through like folk country, right? Way back at the very beginning.
I don't know if it was so much folk country. Maybe it was more like, I don't know, I'm looking for a word, hillbilly country, maybe?
I was going to go with folk, but
I think folk is kind of like the, correct me if I'm wrong, when I hear folk, I'm thinking of Bob Dylan,
James Taylor kind of stuff. Yeah,
Kingston Trio,
There you go.
and that type of thing. But early country music was more of a raw hillbilly type of thing.
you're going like to Loretta Lynn and
Well, that's not early country, but she was, I'm talking about country from the 50s.
All right, Hank Williams.
Hank
kind of
Williams.
Hank Williams. That's like good old rock and roll, though. I'm going to disagree. I don't think there's any hillbilly in Hank Williams.
Oh, there's definitely hillbilly. Hank Williams.
Are you thinking about Hank Williams Jr. or
No.
Hank Williams?
Hank Williams is definitely a little bit more country. Hank Williams Jr. is just good old crazy. But, but that sound, to me, is kind of like wave one of your country. Then you've got a little bit more rock and roll country. And today, I don't think there's anything different between that and top 40 rock and roll.
It's the twang in the voice, I think, and the
Basically.
steel guitars that they still put on the.
I'll go with your steel guitars and occasionally a violin.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is that.
Or it's a fiddle in the country case.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah. You know, the thing is, country music has pretty much today's pretty much sounds like 80s rock, if you want to know my opinion. And a lot of times those steel guitar leads, they don't sound like steel guitar leads anymore. They sound like rock leads.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So
I'll never forget when I saw Luke Bryant?
Yeah.
Luke Bryant play and thought, wow, we are no longer in country territory now. This is definitely rock and roll.
Exactly. And Keith Urban.
Keith Urban.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, you talk about a guy. Most people don't realize
That guy
Keith
can rock.
Urban, he was in country recording sessions At one time in the 80s, there was a statistic that he was in or on every #1 album that came out of Nashville for 10 years.
I believe that.
Well, and let's not forget that Taylor Swift, when she started out, was considered country music. Now she's considered pure pop.
Yeah,
But
I
there's
agree.
not that much difference between those early records and what she's doing now.
I agree.
Correct.
Maybe a little more synthesizer.
Yeah, I agree. Basically, it's a pop. So looking back, country pretty much inspired rock and roll, and somewhat has inspired popular music today.
And now rock and roll has gone on to inspire country. So it's intermingling.
Yeah, so that's a good metamorphosis or a phrase or whatever you want to call it. Kind of like the Philharmonica type phrase. You know how my phrase is called.
So
Johnny-isms?
Ed Salomon on the show a little later, along with Jerry Osborne, of course. But that's not all, right? We've got more coming up.
We have this special entertainer that's coming on today.
Just a couple minutes.
Yes, in a couple of minutes. Her name is Bella, and I met her at the wedding that I DJ'd last Saturday at the Tibbetts Creek Manor, and I was so I was very impressed with the entertainment value of her performance. She's a belly dancer, but it was more than being a belly dancer. As I watched her performance, it was almost like being a special entertainer, because it worked so well for this wedding that I said, man, I got to have her on the show, man. Because I think maybe belly dancing might be slightly misunderstood, might be slightly miscategorized. But her performance was like it could work for any type of event, corporate, wedding, private party. And I'm anxious to have her on the show shortly.
Very good. Well, why don't we take a break and then get her on the phone?
That sounds marvelous to me. I like it. And the name of the place is I like it like that.
That's an old reference.
Thank you so much.
This is Viva ENT Radio. Stay tuned. Dr. Amanda Wong and the team at Art of the Smiles provides comprehensive dental services at affordable prices. Their convenient location in Federal Way and their extended hours fits the needs of both families and working professionals. Whether it's transforming your smile through some of their cosmetic therapies or simply having your teeth cleaned, Art of the Smiles provides individualized care plans that address your priorities and needs. Visit artofthesmiles.com or call 253-839-4048. That's 253-839-4048 for same-day scheduling. Most insurance is accepted, from cosmetic procedures to implant placement, molar root canals treatment, or wisdom teeth extractions.
Brides, do you want your big day to be stress-free, perfect, and stay within your budget? Well, Brides Club has all the inside information to make your dream a reality. Go to bridesclub.com. That's bridesclub.com. See upcoming bridal shows and events, view wedding vendors and special offers. And don't miss The Spotlight, the premier online wedding magazine with valuable articles you can't afford to miss. Brides Club helps make your wedding stress-free and perfect. Go to bridesclub.com. Check out bridesclub.com. Attention business owners. Experience a new world of business with barter. The Saturn Barter Company, located in Tacoma, is one of the most beneficial business decisions you can make. Using Saturn Barter, you are able to sell your products or services to other members of the exchange. You can then use that credit you've built up from your sales to purchase the products or services you or your company needs from other companies within Saturn Barter, all without the use of cash. Contact and join Saturn Barter Club today, 253-212-9930, or online at saturnbarter.com.
Lights, camera, action. Capture those precious moments at your special event with 1,000 Words Events friendly, fun party services. Make your guests smile with a unique photo booth. Bring the celebration anywhere with a green screen. Enhance the mood with event lighting or pile them in an awesome VW photo bus. Our services provide lasting memories and unique party favors. After all, a picture's worth 1,000 words. See for yourself what we do at 1000wordsevents.com or call us at 253-380-2026. Let's make some memories. Online at 1000wordsevents.com or 253-380-2026.
Is your vehicle needing some attention? Take it over to Maddie's Tuning and Shoreline for fast, affordable car care. Trusted, professional. Maddie's services all makes and models and has been trusted in the Puget Sound for almost 60 years. Call Brian Maddie at 206-364-3347 or stop by his convenient location in Shoreline right on Aurora at 152nd. Maddie's Tuning. Call 206-364-3347. Trusted for almost 60 years to keep you safe and on the road.
Life's a celebration. Grand Event Rentals makes your event their top priority. They are your full-service, special event, and party rental provider, supplying everything you need from start to finish. Their professional sales team and event staff work with you to create your dream event. With every event, Grand Event Rentals customers' needs are the most important. Whether you're planning an intimate outdoor wedding or an elaborate black tie gala, the Grand Event Rentals specialists make great pride in providing our event planning experience to help create an unforgettable event. Please go and visit the Bellevue showroom, Grand Event Rentals, or make a one-on-one appointment. Talk to them. They're trained, they're knowledgeable, they're event specialists, and they are going to take you through step-by-step everything that you need to make your day a success. Call Grand Event Rentals. Their number is 425-462-7368, or go to grandeventrentalslaw.com.
News, traffic, and weather? Now you can get your information fixed weekdays on Alternative Talk, 1150 a.m.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Viva ENT. This is Johnny the Capo. I'm live in the studio with my co-host,
Brad Buckles.
and my excellent producer,
Eric C.C. Ryder.
We have a wonderful, wonderful special guest today, special entertainer. Her name is Bella. And Bella, do you say hi to our listeners, Bella?
Hi, I'm Bella.
Hi, Bella. So Bella is a belly dancer, and but you seem to be a little bit more than just a belly dancer. You seem to be, by me judging your performance, you seem to be a complete performer. You have a really, really nice show, and it seemed to be even above belly dancing. Tell me what you think about that.
Well, wow. Well, thank you very much. I studied the art form quite a bit. I've been doing it for about 9 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So I do other styles of dance. So, you know, on top of belly dancing, which is my main form of dance, I also do like samba, a little bit of Hawaiian Tahitian style too. So, and then there's also a little bit of fusion. That's more of the American style that you add to the dance too, of belly dance. So.
Yeah, I when I saw you perform at the wedding that we were at last Saturday, it seemed like you had other ingredients going on in that performance.
Okay, yeah, there's a full routine that we do. So you always have an entrance piece, and then you do what we would call a tuck theme or like a slower piece, and then you take it back up by doing like a drum solo, and then you usually do audience participation. You get people up to dance. So, yeah, and there's props. You know, I use wings. A lot of times I'll dance on my drum or I dance the sword. You know, there's all kinds of things you can add to the mix. So, and you also saw me with my finger cymbals.
The finger cymbals really are the epitome of the enchantment of the performance, don't you think?
Yeah, I love them. They're great.
Yeah, they really add the whatever that sound is. It's just once you start hearing that, you realize, hey, this is we're watching something special here.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I like to, there's so many different kinds of rhythms you can use for the finger cymbals, or you can go with the melody of music. So it's kind of nice. You can keep it exciting that way. And then the costumes, I get those custom made from Turkey. So,
wow.
Yeah, her name is Bella also. And, yeah, I have I think I have 11 now. So I have all different colors, and I love them. They're so sparkly and pretty. So it's great.
Well, that adds to the performance, no question about that.
Yeah.
I saw you at a wedding, and so I'm thinking, I own an entertainment company, and I'm thinking of promoting you at some of the corporate events that we do, especially in December and January.
Nice, thank you.
Because we have a casino entertainment company, along with the DJ company, and
Wonderful.
and your performance was so showy. It almost reminded me of a Vegas type element to it, which I thought was really cool.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I love doing all kinds of shows. I like to keep it exciting and diverse. So, yeah, any of those kinds of shows sound perfect.
Absolutely. So,
yeah, because I usually do like 20 minutes, or if you even, sometimes it's anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes, or even an hour. So
yeah, I think you did about 30 minutes at the wedding, and it didn't get old at all.
Thank you.
Like a lot of performers, they got maybe a 10 or 15 minute attention span, but it was perfect, actually.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Thank you.
So as you might tell, Johnny's kind of fond of your performance.
Well, thank you.
well, Brad's looking at your website right now, and he's kind of fond of
the whole Bella dancing thing is kind of cool.
No question about it.
Well, thank you.
So you've done this for 9
it.
years, Bella. What would you say are kind of like some of the highs that you've achieved?
Oh, man, I really have a very blessed life, I admit. I've gotten to travel and do lots of contracts. So I was in a dance company for a few years. That's what started me getting into traveling. So I did a contract in Guangzhou, China. I did that for about 6 weeks. I did Mexico, it was Cancun, and then Turkey for a month. And then I went off on my own, and I just recently did a 3-month contract in India. And also I went to Cairo, and I danced in Paris, France. And, yeah, this year I'll be going to Mexico next month, and then back to Cairo for a month this summer.
Wow.
Yeah, I love it.
Sounds like you have a full calendar.
I do.
Yeah, that's great. And, we were talking about your nationality at the wedding, and you're Italian. You got a little German in you, a little this and that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of unique to have a gal like you that, from your background, do what you do so well.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So most, I think you teach a belly dancing class, don't you?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I teach a couple of days a week classes and then private sessions in my home.
Why don't you tell our listeners right now how they can get a hold of you?
Yeah.
To book your services, or maybe come to you one of your classes?
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, the best way to contact is I have several ways. So my website, which gives information on the specific locations. So that's www.bellajovan.com. That's BELLAJOV as in Victor, AN.com. Or you can text me, call me, 206-321-2412. If some people feel more comfortable emailing me, I have no problem with that. It's bellajovan@gmail.com. And then if you're interested in more of the descriptions of my classes, or kind of, more ideas on what I do for a show, you can just go on each link. I have links on instruction and higher information and topics like that.
And where are your classes now?
So right now I have Wednesday nights from 7 to 8. It's called Danceport International Studio. It's in Magnuson Park. And then the Monday night series, that is almost ending. That's at North Seattle Community College, so you have to book through the school. But I do have the link on my website for that.
Cool.
And that will start up again on April 11th, and that is 6:30 to 7:45 at night.
Very cool.
Yeah.
My wife used to belly dance, and I told her all about you, and and she went to your website, so she was real excited when she was checking it out. And then one of our close family members is also a belly dancer too. So.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
It's a small world. I know there's so much magic here with the dance. It's lovely.
It's a pleasure to have you on the show. Brad, do you have any questions for Bella?
No, I've been reading your website and kind of following some of the things you wrote. Maybe we can see you at a bridal show here soon.
I would love that.
Matter of
very
fact,
much.
Brad, we should invite her to a bridal show for a performance.
Well, it's funny you say that because April 2nd and 3rd, we have the show over at the Tacoma Dome.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
We'd like you to come and participate.
I would love that very much.
Are you going to be here in the area?
Yeah, I will be.
Good.
Yes.
Maybe we can talk off air and kind of coordinate that so we can get a performance or two from you.
That'd
That'd
Brad,
be great.
Brad, I think that would be fabulous if we could get her at the Tacoma Wedding Expo.
Thank you.
Nice talking to you, Bella. Eric, say something to Bella.
Hi, Bella. Great job.
Hi, thank you so much. It was nice speaking with all of you.
It was a pleasure to have you on Viva ENT. Hopefully we'll see you soon, and we definitely want you at the Tacoma Wedding Expo in April.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. You guys have a good day.
Grazie. Thank you so much. All right. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, very cool. I'm excited to see a performance sometime.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
She knocked me out. There's no question about it.
She is aptly named.
Yes.
If you look at the website, you can see that Bella is a great name for her.
Yeah, she really just reminded me of the old Hollywood look, the Sophia Loren, the Marilyn Monroe, and Margaret Raquel Welch type look.
Oh yeah.
She was just
a classic beauty.
Thank you so much, sir.
There you go.
Yeah. So we got our special guest Jerry Osborne. We have Ed Solomon coming on after the break. More Viva ENT, ladies and gentlemen, with Johnny the Capo, Brad, the Guru of Weddings Buckles, and our wonderful not co-host, but he is actually a co-host.
Our producer.
Producer and co-host /
Eric
CC Ryder.
Thanks, guys. We'll be back with more Viva ENT. Is your vehicle needing some attention? Take it over to Maddie's Tuning and Shoreline for fast, affordable car care. Trusted, professional. Maddie's services all makes and models and has been trusted in the Puget Sound for almost 60 years. Call Brian Maddie at 206-364-3347 or stop by his convenient location in Shoreline right on Aurora at 152nd. Maddie's Tuning. Call 206-364-3347. Trusted for almost 60 years to keep you safe and on the road.
Brides, do you want your big day to be stress-free, perfect, and stay within your budget? Well, Brides Club has all the inside information to make your dream a reality. Go to bridesclub.com. That's bridesclub.com. See upcoming bridal shows and events, view wedding vendors and special offers. And don't miss The Spotlight, the premier online wedding magazine with valuable articles you can't afford to miss. Brides Club helps make your wedding stress-free and perfect. Go to bridesclub.com. Check out bridesclub.com. Attention business owners. Experience a new world of business with barter. The Saturn Barter Company, located in Tacoma, is one of the most beneficial business decisions you can make. Using Saturn Barter, you are able to sell your products or services to other members of the exchange. You can then use that credit you've built up from your sales to purchase the products or services you or your company needs from other companies within Saturn Barter, all without the use of cash. Contact and join Saturn Barter Club today, 253-212-9930, or online at SaturnBarter.com. Life's a celebration. Grand Event Rentals makes your event their top priority. They are your full-service, special event, and party rental provider, supplying everything you need from start to finish. Their professional sales team and event staff work with you to create your dream event. With every event, Grand Event Rentals customers' needs are the most important. Whether you're planning an intimate outdoor wedding or an elaborate black tie gala, the Grand Event Rentals specialists make great pride in providing our event planning experience to help create an unforgettable event. Please go and visit the Bellevue showroom, Grand Event Rentals, or make a one-on-one appointment. Talk to them. They're trained, they're knowledgeable, They're event specialists, and they are going to take you through step-by-step everything that you need to make your day a success. Call Grand Event Rentals. Their number is 425-462-7368, or go to grandeventrentalslaw.com.
Dr. Amanda Wong and the team at Art of the Smiles provides comprehensive dental services at affordable prices. Their convenient location in Federal Way and their extended hours fits the needs of both families and working professionals. Whether it's transforming your smile through some of their cosmetic therapies or simply having your teeth cleaned, Art of the Smiles provides individualized care plans that address your priorities and needs. Visit artofthesmiles.com or call 253-839-4048. That's 253-839-4048 for same-day scheduling. Most insurance is accepted, from cosmetic procedures to implant placement, molar root canals treatment, or wisdom teeth extractions.
Lights, camera, action. Capture those precious moments at your special event with 1,000 Words Events friendly, fun party services. Make your guests smile with a unique photo booth. Bring the celebration anywhere with a green screen. Enhance the mood with event lighting or pile them in an awesome VW photo bus. Our services provide lasting memories and unique party favors. After all, a picture's worth 1,000 words. See for yourself what we do at 1000wordsevents.com or call us at 253-380-2026. Let's make some memories. Online at 1000wordsevents.com or 253-380-2026.
Want to hear something different from talk radio? The choice is clear. Alternative Talk, 1150 AM.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Viva ENT here in Seattle. I'm Johnny the Capo, your host. I'm here in the studio with my co-host,
Brad Buckles, good afternoon.
my excellent producer,
It's Eric C.C. Ryder.
Eric C.C. Ryder. Jerry Osborne is on the line,
I'm around here somewhere.
our talent coordinator, and we have a guest today that is a very special guest. His name is Ed Solomon. I hope I said that right. And Jerry, why don't you take it away?
Well, I got it right here, and I'm ready to take it. So, Ed, welcome to the show. I appreciate you being able to get on with us here today. I know that a lot of the guests that we have had on the show over the last almost a year have been primarily entertainers, but we've picked up along the way some great people who were more, I would say, involved in behind the scenes rather than on the stage entertaining. And you certainly are in that category of people who I literally consider you a giant in the industry, especially from the broadcasting entertainment end of it. And quite frankly, I think that you are me and I am you. and I'll tell you why before I forget. We both were DJs. We were both music directors, ultimately program directors in radio. We've both written and published books. We both made novelty break-in records. We both lived in Tennessee. We both worked with or for Dick Clark. We both brought a top 40 feel to country music circa 1970. We are both charter members of the nominating committee of the Hit Parade Hall of Fame.
Wow.
And by golly, we're both on Facebook, so there you go.
There you go.
And now you're on Viva ENT, the both of you guys.
Both of us, yeah, that's right.
And you forgot that we're both record collectors.
Well, I was thinking about that too, but I wasn't 100% certain that you still were. You notice I got the part in about we both did novelty break-in records.
Well, that wasn't me, but everything else you said was right on.
You are not the guy who did the Beetle Flying Saucers?
No, that name I believe is a takeoff on Ed Sullivan.
Oh,
Sullivin instead of Solomon.
right.
But no, I had nothing to do with that.
Well, all these years we've been sending the royalties to you by mistake.
Yeah, it's a common comment I get from time to time. But everything else you said was 1,000% right, Jerry.
Fantastic. How did it all start for you, my friend?
All started listening to the radio in my hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And before our family had a television, we had one of those console radio players that had a phonograph on one side and a radio on the other. And when I was a teeny tiny kid, the easiest station for me to tune in was the one to the far left of the dial because it was first on the dial. Happened to be 860 AM. And that station, WHOD, which later became Whammo, had a guy on in the afternoon that played early rhythm and blues and rock and roll, Porky Chedwick. And that was something that I just heard when I was very young. And it just caught me, stuck with me, and made me interested in music. When I got into high school, I had a garage band like a lot of people do, made a lot of relationships in the radio industry because at that time, bands like mine used to play at record hops for disc jockeys. That was a great way to promote your band. They'd say nice things about you on the air when they were plugging their record hops, and you'd get to know people in the radio business. And by the time I was out of college, I figured out that I was never going to be able to make a living playing music because I wasn't all that good at it. But I had a lot of contacts in radio and was able to get a job in 1970 at KDKA Radio,
Wow.
which was celebrating its 50th anniversary at the time and doing publicity and promotion for them. Figured out I wanted to be in the programming side. Got to be music director at KDKA, and that's what launched me into the programming end of the business that I stayed with ever since.
Well, you kind of said that right, because even guys that are great musicians have a hard time making a living playing music. We had DJ Fontana, Elvis Presley's drummer, on the show about 6 weeks ago. And when Elvis went to the Army, DJ went to back to work at the grocery store.
Oh, boy.
Figure that out. But I hear you on that one. So you took the avenue of getting on the radio and getting into that end of the business, and it sounds to me that it was the right move to make, and it's pretty rewarding.
It worked out well for me. I was when I worked at KDKA, I pretty much learned by being in the business. And a couple years later, I was offered the job of program director at a country radio station in Pittsburgh, and that's how I got into country music. I wasn't particularly a country music fan at that point. I was more of a general music fan and a radio fan.
Uh-huh.
But in Pittsburgh in 1975, I became program director of the country station WEEP, and I'm sorry, in 1973. And within 2 years, that station had taken off, and the New York country radio station called me and asked me if I would be interested in coming there. So in 1975, I wound up at the New York country station WHN, which it hadn't been doing all of that well. They had 3 program directors in the 2 years that it had been country, and now later in my life, I would have probably said, "Boy, that's a shaky job to take." But when you're in your 20s, the things that may have looked like shaky situations just look like opportunities, and I felt confident I could help that radio station. And indeed, WHN turned around and did well even before the Urban Cowboy years.
Well, the cool thing is the fact that you were in show business. I mean, just the thought you're making money in show business is cool.
Well, making money and being around music.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Jerry, and I think the rest of you guys too. That was something that was important to me, and something I wanted to be around in whatever way that I could. And radio wound up being that way.
Yeah, when I was a young man, I was into playing the guitar and singing, and everybody was saying, "Well, you're not going to make any money in music." Well, guess what? I've been making money in music all my whole life. So I hear what you're saying, and my co-host Brad, recently he's in the wedding expo business, and now he's making money playing music. Ain't that right, Brad?
Oh yeah, it's been a great time. I've wanted to be a musician my whole life since I was about the age of 8. I seem to recall turning on the radio and hearing these great songs coming out of the radio and going,
What?
I just want to be a part of that. Like Ed was saying, somehow, some way, I just want to be there.
Right.
Exactly.
Very first concert when I was 8 years old was Fleetwood Mac Rumors.
Whoa. Yeah, 1977, 78, 79?
Yeah.
Wow. You know, Ed, when you brought country music to New York, the Big Apple, what year are we talking about? What time frame?
Well, the station had started playing country music in 1973.
Uh-huh.
I didn't get there until 1975, and as I mentioned, it had a little rough road getting established playing country music. But I sort of looked at it a different way. As Jerry mentioned he was doing, he brought top 40 formatics to country radio and stations that he was involved in, and that's what I had done in Pittsburgh. Basically the concept of having great personalities playing hit records that just happened to be country hit records worked for me well in Pittsburgh, and it worked well in New York. The other thing that happened was that around that time, a lot of people in radio, and I was sort of early on in this, started asking listeners what they wanted to hear in more sophisticated ways, and began doing things like call out research, and in involving the listeners in New York. As you might imagine, they had different tastes in country music than the country did in general.
Those particular years, country was kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, was struggling a little bit, right?
Well, country had been struggling, but then what happened, and I think WHN was a part of facilitating this, was something called the crossover phenomenon.
Correct.
There were, and the crossover didn't just work for country artists like Dolly Parton and Willie Nelson and Mickey Gilley getting on top 40 radio stations, but it also worked with country embracing some artists whose original recordings weren't accepted by country radio, such as Olivia Newton-John and John Denver and people like Kenny Rogers coming over from the pop side.
Correct.
And then as Jerry will jump in a second and mention, if I don't, Elvis Presley,
of course,
was someone who had bridged that gap between country and pop all along. So those artists and other people like Linda Ronstadt and the Eagles became mainstays of WHN radio, and it helped bring it to a bigger audience. For any of those that are interested, I do have a book, WHN, When New York City Went Country, published by Archer Books and available through any bookstore that tells the story of those days in New York.
Yeah.
Well, all you did was take a floundering station and make it the number 2 station in the biggest market in the country. not a small task.
Yeah. And talking about Elvis had a number 1 country record in 1977, Moody Blue, and Way Down in 1977. So
he was one of those artists that really spanned, and you needed, in order to get New Yorkers interested in country music, there needed to be things on that radio dial that were familiar to them, and Elvis's records fit the bill tremendously.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, Elvis crossed over in the early days too of his career too. A lot of the early songs, Mystery Train, and I Forgot to Remember to Forget. You remember that one, Jerry?
Oh no, I never heard that one. But also Ed, at that time, he was on the tail end of enormously successful concert tours. So he was out there in front of the people as well as on the radio in all formats. So I mean, you just couldn't go wrong with that.
Right. And I guess the point there is there were some tremendously talented artists making some great music that we felt that we could play at country radio at that time.
Correct.
And it was all of that converged to make country surge in the major markets. And it was in the 1970s that country began to surge in the untraditional country markets, markets that in bigger cities and more northern markets than they had than country had been successful before.
Yeah, with disco fading out towards the late 70s, rock and roll itself was kind of overlooked through that disco era, and country too somewhat. So when that disco era faded out, you had this nice explosion of country music, and now all of a sudden rock and roll is popular again. So I hear what you're saying.
Oh, Ed, I left one thing out when I was talking about how many things we have in common.
Uh-huh.
We both have been on the front cover of Billboard.
Oh, my gosh.
My gosh, there we go.
Oh, my God, you're kidding me. I'd love to have my picture on the cover of Billboard magazine.
Sounds like a song title.
I was going to say.
Well, that's one of the great things about the business that we're in, the radio business specifically. It's not 6 degrees of separation. I don't think there's anybody in this business that doesn't have some number of experiences or friends in common in the business.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, obviously, Jerry, the first time that I ever became familiar with you was because of your record price guide, and that's why I always think about the connection that we have of being record collectors, because that was really sort of a landmark publication, because it really took and synthesized something that was very ephemeral and unorganized into something that then allowed people to communicate about the records they collected a lot more quickly and easily, and probably there's no collector in the 70s and 80s and even today that still don't treasure those early price guides.
Well, you're talking about something that I really created from scratch. I mean, I didn't really have a model or any existing book or any format that anyone had even done similar to that to go by. So it was almost like try it, and if it doesn't work, change it and try it again. And so we got started out in 1975. The book came out in 76, and that was about 206 books ago. So it's been a long and winding road, but it sure has been fun. But I want to commend you on the one word you used in your description of what I do or have done, and I'm so happy you used it, because it was really what it was all about. That was the word organize. I wanted to organize something that was not yet organized.
Yeah.
That's exactly what you did, and it's one of the reasons why I'm involved in some of the books that I have been involved in. My first book was Pittsburgh's Golden Age of Radio,
cool.
and I wanted to I did that about 10 years ago, and the idea was to memorialize some of the radio personalities and radio stations from the early days of radio in Pittsburgh, starting with KDKA in 1920. As I said, I was involved with their 50th anniversary, so I knew a lot about the history of how radio started in Pittsburgh through the end of the 1970s. And that time period roughly coincided when FM became to be more dominant than AM radio.
It was like,
and I wanted to be able to memorialize some of the personalities and stations while I was still able to talk one-to-one with people who were involved and get those recollections together. Likewise, the next thing I knew about was country radio in New York, so WHN, When New York City Went Country, was my next book. my current book is Pittsburgh's Golden Age of Rock and Roll,
Man.
which covers the period from when rock and roll began in the early 50s area to the end of the 70s, likewise. And that was the area that I tended to. I left Pittsburgh, as I said, in the mid 70s, so I felt very comfortable writing about the market and the artists in the 50s, 60s, and 70s while I was very connected to the city.
Drop some of those names from the Pittsburgh that came out of Pittsburgh.
Well, the big artists and the artists that every one of your listeners would know are the people on the cover of Pittsburgh's Golden Age of Radio, people like Lou Christie, who wrote the foreword to the book.
Oh, yeah.
The Skyliners, who, Since I Don't Have You, was their big hit. The Jaggers, that were actually a blue-eyed soul group before their more bubblegummy hit The Rapper took off and set a new direction for the group.
That was a great record.
And also on the cover is Bobby Vinton, which a lot of people don't think of as a rock and roller. But, it's almost revisionist history if you don't consider ballads rock and roll.
Yeah.
I mean, I talk to a lot of young people, and it's hard for them to realize that ballads like Since I Don't Have You or In the Still of the Night or Earth Angel were as important to us young people as the up-tempo records.
Absolutely right. And if there ever needed to be an example of that, it's the Platters.
Mm-hmm.
Right, absolutely.
They were rock and roll, even though they had rock ballads.
Well, I call it pop/rock. Yeah.
And Bobby Vinton was one of those artists who just provided a lot of the ballads that would dance to with the slow dance to with the rock and roll sock hops. And he also early on backed most of the local artists in Pittsburgh whenever there were the big shows or the rock and roll shows. He even went on the road for one of the traveling shows with Dwayne Eddy and Chubby Checker and folks like that. So
yeah, Bobby Vinton was between 1960 and 1963 he was as popular as anybody.
Absolutely.
In addition to those big artists, though, because and I hope you guys will agree with me that rock and roll was not just about the people at the top of the charts, but were about what I call the foot soldiers of rock and roll. Back in the 50s, the doo-wop groups that sang on street corners and maybe made only one record, or the people in the 60s who had the bands in the 60s that were garage bands. Every neighborhood had them, every school had them. Some of them made records, a lot of them didn't, but a lot of them played for audiences that at their high schools, at their local events, and in the 70s you had bands a lot of club bands that played and entertained lots of people. And in addition to the artists that everyone's heard of that are featured in Pittsburgh's Golden Age of Rock and Roll with big sections, I also have literally hundreds of these other acts that maybe you've never heard of, but their story needed to be memorialized, too, in my opinion.
And it's incredible how many photos you have, too. It's a great book. I loved it. I sent the download over to Johnny and Eric both because I wanted them to know more about it, too. So congratulations. Great book.
Yeah,
thank you.
We're down to about 3 minutes, guys. Ed, why don't you tell our listeners here in Seattle about your books, your website, how they can get more information about you and what you do?
Well, my books are all available at any stores that sell books that can order them. The three books are Pittsburgh's Golden Age of Radio,
cool,
and the WHN When New York City Went Country, and Pittsburgh's Golden Age of Rock and Roll. And there's a great Facebook site for Pittsburgh's Golden Age of Rock and Roll. If you go on Facebook, type in Pittsburgh's Golden Age of Rock and Roll, it'll pop up. It has some great videos and audios and still pictures. We've gone back to Pittsburgh and done a lot of, I live in Nashville now, gone back to Pittsburgh and done a number of book signings where artists like members of the Jaggers, the Skyliners, the Vogues, Donnie Iris, folks from the later bands like Joe Grishecki of the Iron City House Rockers and Frank Zuri of the Igniters. And many of those guys have participated on panels that I do on book signing, and a lot of that's memorialized on Pittsburgh's Golden Age of Rock and Roll website.
The names go on and on. It's a pleasure to have you on the show today, Ed.
Glad to be on with you guys, and Jerry, always a pleasure to talk with you.
Well, we're going to talk again. By the way, Tony Moon, who we had on last week, as you know, is in your book along with the Vogues.
Oh, yeah.
He is mentioned. He produced some of those records here in Nashville.
Yeah.
Very cool. Jerry, we have a full lineup for the month of March. Can you give us some names?
Well, okay, this is just going from memory and in no particular order, but we have Freddie Cannon. We have someone you may not know, but she's enormously popular in an interesting offshoot of country and folk and even Mexican music. But anyway, her name is Tish Hinojosa.
Cool.
And you'll be learning more about her soon. And we remember the Soup Nazi from Seinfeld?
Oh, yeah.
We're going to have him next month, too. So we got some interesting people coming on.
We're down to 20 seconds. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Ed. Brad, thank you. Eric C.C. Ryder, what a great show. Another great Viva ENT. Bradley, say goodbye to our listeners.
Everybody, you have a great afternoon.
Mr. C.C. Ryder, say something. We're digging out. See you later, because you are fine. Sweet potato. Thank you so much, folks.
Lights, camera, action. Capture those precious moments at your special event with 1,000 Words Events friendly, fun party services. Make your guests smile with a unique photo booth. Bring the celebration anywhere with a green screen. Enhance the mood with event lighting or pile them in an awesome VW photo bus. Our services provide lasting memories and unique party favors. After all, a picture's worth 1,000 words. See for yourself what we do at 1000wordsevents.com or call us at 253-380-2026. Let's make some memories. Online at 1000wordsevents.com or 253-380-2026.
Dr. Amanda Wong and the team at Art of the Smiles provides comprehensive dental services at affordable prices. Their convenient location in Federal Way and their extended hours fits the needs of both families and working professionals. Whether it's transforming your smile through some of their cosmetic therapies or simply having your teeth cleaned, Art of the Smiles provides individualized care plans that address your priorities and needs. Visit artofthesmiles.com or call 253-839-4048. That's 253-839-4048 for same-day scheduling. Most insurance is accepted, from cosmetic procedures to implant placement, molar root canals treatment, or wisdom teeth extractions.
Life's a celebration. Grand Event Rentals makes your event their top priority. They are your full-service, special event, and party rental provider, supplying everything you need from start to finish. Their professional sales team and event staff work with you to create your dream event. With every event, Grand Event Rentals customers' needs are the most important. Whether you're planning an intimate outdoor wedding or an elaborate black tie gala, the Grand Event Rental specialists make great pride in providing our event planning experience to help create an unforgettable event. Please go and visit the Bellevue showroom, Grand Event Rentals, or make a one-on-one appointment. Talk to them. They're trained, they're knowledgeable, they're event specialists, and they are going to take you through step-by-step everything that you need to make your day a success. Call Grand Event Rentals. Their number is 425-462-7368, or go to grandeventrentalslaw.com. Attention business owners. Experience a new world of business with barter. The Saturn Barter Company, located in Tacoma, is one of the most beneficial business decisions you can make. Using Saturn Barter, you are able to sell your products or services to other members of the exchange. You can then use that credit you've built up from your sales to purchase the products or services you or your company needs from other companies within Saturn Barter, all without the use of cash. Contact and join Saturn Barter Club today, 253-212-9933. 888-888-3030 or online at SaturnBarter.com.
Is your vehicle needing some attention? Take it over to Maddie's Tuning and Shoreline for fast, affordable car care. Trusted, professional. Maddie's services all makes and models and has been trusted in the Puget Sound for almost 60 years. Call Brian Maddie at 206-364-3347 or stop by his convenient location in Shoreline right on Aurora at 152nd. Maddie's Tuning. Call 206-364-3347. Trusted for almost 60 years to keep you safe and on the road.
Brides, do you want your big day to be stress-free, perfect, and stay within your budget? Well, Brides Club has all the inside information to make your dream a reality. Go to bridesclub.com. That's bridesclub.com. See upcoming bridal shows and events, view wedding vendors and special offers. And don't miss The Spotlight, the premier online wedding magazine with valuable articles you can't afford to miss. Brides Club helps make your wedding stress-free and perfect. Go to bridesclub.com. Check out bridesclub.com.